What defines you?
What defines you?
I ask first.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for my daughter.
Hello, I'm Flavia. How's it going? So I'm very glad that you are the first two, from the crew that I'm talking to, which makes me happy because I think the show is mainly about your relationship, isn't it? It's quite interesting and unique because it's also a thriller, a mystery and fraud, mystery, which is quite, up to date. But at the end of the day, it's also about you both. So I wish you could both speak a little bit about this relationship, about also maternity, sisterhood, lots kind of love, isn't it?
It is. It's a real love story between two women who start out almost as adversaries, and they grow to trust each other, and they grow to depend on each other, and they really grow into a team in the center of what turns out to be quite a thriller. And if you watch the show as it goes on, it becomes more and more propulsive, and you feel that those thriller elements more and more in the second half of the series. But even as that's happening at the height, the kind of almost action, not quite, but like almost an action movie feel, you sense at the center of it, this relationship deepening.
What a delight to receive a script that is so engaging and exciting to read. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I was working at the time and I thought, oh, when am I going to get to it? I don't know. And then I just stayed up all night just reading all the episodes. But then also to dig deeper and to find the emotional journey that these characters go through, and how as the mystery gets more exciting, as we uncover more clues, it also just gives the characters more to go through and more to play with as an actor when you have these big questions about identity and love and belonging. So it was just a treat to receive that and to have the time and space to play with it.
I may not know why your father did what he did, but I know who he is.
He lied to me, and then he disappeared, and I want to know the truth.
How was for you when you first read the story? I know Jennifer read the book before, isn't it? Which is quite interesting. But how did you feel about it?
I read the series first, the scripts first, and then I went back and read the book, which was a really interesting way to do it. And I don't regret doing it in that way because I think it really convinced me and made me feel so confident that a series was the best way to tell this story and the best way to adapt it from such an incredible book. And it was just so fun to have Laura Dave, the author, with us on set, and that I could ask her any questions I wanted about the story, about the characters. That was such a great resource to have.
Jennifer, you want to comment?
Yes, I mean, having Laura there, it was better than even when you're playing a real person and you have that actual person, because they might not have processed their lives yet. They might not even be able to speak to what they were going through at a certain time in their life, even if they are they. But Laura had thought through every single moment of these characters' lives, why they acted the way they did, what had happened in their childhood, what led them to that moment. And she's obviously so incredibly articulate that we benefited from her in every single way.
Mrs. Michaels? Mr. Michaels asked me to give this to you.
I will start to talking about, Owen. And the way this TV show, this story is about, is mysteries, thriller, investigation, everything, fraud, which is quite, up to date. But at the end of the day, is a family story, and your character is very important. It's an important trigger. But I like the way your character is not three-dimensional. He's like a kaleidoscope. You know what I mean? How did you build him? Like, there's the Owen from the book, from the script, and there's yours, Owen.
It was a really interesting puzzle because you have the present day, and then of course you find out, as you say, this whole mystery. But at the core is really, for me, also what's I think most important for most of us is the relationships we have, the love. If we're lucky to find love in our life, and we all have love, trying to navigate, all these things you learn about him, and some of it is true, some of it is not, some of it is other people's perceptions. That was the challenge, because as you know, like, memory is very subjective. Many times you meet Owen, it's kind of through the eyes of someone else. So I had to, I always knew what I believed, that who he was at the core. But of course, you still had to navigate it into to the other people's view of the guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the core of him, I think I found, at least, the core I could relate to, and as you said, it is love, and he is in many ways he is the catalyst for the core love story of the show, which is about these two women that might not love each other at first, but then through the story, they meet.
Yeah, they learn.
I'm telling you, we'll find him.
But you know what I like most about your characters and, your scenes with Ingari and Jennifer, there's a lot of intimacy. Your character is all about, mystery, thriller, fraud, but at the end of the day, your scenes were about intimacy, isn't it? I think it was interesting for you.
No, absolutely. It's about connection, and I think for this to work, you have to believe that. You have to believe, and I think also what I loved was the writing, both of course the book, but then what they did with the scripts is like building a very solid foundation that you want to believe in, and then of course that you have to, as an audience, you have to question.
Sure.
Is this all a lie? And then I the duality, the fact that we all, can you be truthful and lie at the same time? Those two, and of course you can. I think most people do, whether we want to admit it or not. And I think it's very human. But yeah, you're right. The love had to be the intimacy. When he says, "I'll do anything for my daughter," there's nothing I wouldn't do for my daughter. That you have to believe that. And
Where did you get this?
Tell me who sent you. Go now.
I did. I just finished it, and I felt that it's also a love story at the very end. No spoilers. And I liked even most at the ending.
Yeah, no, that's also what I actually loved, that, because, as you said, it is a mystery. You keep guessing, but what you're given at the beginning, what you hold on to as an audience, is there is a payoff at the end. You weren't fooled.
That's true. So I have to wrap, but thanks for talking to me. And I love your podcast, The Radar Man. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Why are you making him sound like some criminal mastermind?